congratulations, I am probably dead, or worse. My name is Daniel, and I own quite a bit of land up in the Appalachian Mountains, left to me by my great-aunt. So far, in the years I've lived here, paranormal and downright disturbing things have happened to me here. People told me to just leave or report it. Like I've never done that before. To them, I'm just the young guy that went crazy a little too early. It bothers me that normal people have no idea what goes on up here. All alone. My first encounter with them, I didn't know how to deal with them. Heck, I didn't even know what they were called until recently. It's important, or at least it's important to me that some of the tricks I've learned throughout the 3 years I've lived up here could be of use to somebody. My second, or maybe third time I was stalked by a skinwalker, it felt like I was walking in circles. I had a trail camera with an SD card pretty deep in the woods. But when I tried to walk back to my cabin, I kept passing the camera. I was effectively walking in circles. This went on for hours. The sun was setting soon and I was quite thirsty at the time, I remember. I sat up against the tree my camera was mounted on and started softly crying. It was watching me. I guess waiting for me to fall dead. I hit myself in desperation a few times, trying to think. I sat up and took a very deep breath, wiped the water from my eyes, and it dawned on me. It's gotta be messing with my equilibrium. I have to be off balance, there's no other way. Teleportation in hindsight sounded stupid. But I could still walk, but my depth perception was slightly off. All I had to do was tilt my head as far as it would go into my shoulder, and walk back to my cabin. My ear was pressed into my shoulder, but even with one ear I could still hear how anxious the creature sounded pacing in the woods, hoping I didn't get away. Once I made it inside my cabin, I didn't come out for a couple days, for safe measures. Another trick they know is mimicking animals. I found that they like coyotes. I used to coyote hunt quite a bit back home, but never up here in the mountains. I seen on a couple of my deer cameras that it looked like, right after I left my camera, a coyote would follow me a while, if not all the way home. I had to stop that real quick, and set out some snares. All a snare would and could do is jam the coyote's leg into the mechanism until a button is pressed and the thing would unlock. I set out a couple of them, but also rubbed white ash on all of the traps, and sure enough, the next time I start walking back from my camera, I hear the sound of one go off. I quickly ran back to where I had laid the traps, gun drawn, and all that was left was there, trap in 3 separate bent-up pieces and the subtle scent of burning hair in the air. Every time I checked the camera after that, a coyote with a nasty burn scar on its leg would stop where the camera was mounted and turn around and walk back into the brush. And lastly, do not engage in any type of combat with them. Warding them off is one thing, but actively hunting them is a mistake. I'd wish I would have known that sooner. I had 2 buddies back in town I used to tell my stories to. Alcohol loosens their lips. Their names were James and Cole. I'm pretty sure they were cousins, but I never asked. Thinking about it now, I wish I would have gotten to know them better. Long story short, they're dead, and I'm dying. This morning they came and pounded in my door insisting we hunt these skinwalkers. I told them it was a very bad idea, but they even took the liberty of buying silver bullets. They told me how much they cost, but I can't remember right now. I finally caved and we prepared all day. We first started making a large amount of white ash, cleaning our guns. Heck, they even packed MREs and special high-dollar spotlights. We set off right as the sun went down. We weren't 3 hours in when disaster struck. We're all sitting around a tree. I could tell these skinwalkers were watching us. They're all around us. Multiple. I'm frantically scanning everything with my spotlight, not even realizing Cole wasn't with us anymore. I asked James where he was, but he didn't seem nervous at all and told me he may have had to pee. I turned back to face my front and there I see Cole. He's a good distance out, but something wasn't right. He was contorting in ways a human could never. I start to turn around to ask James what we should do, but halfway around, I heard James' guttural sounding breathing, like his lungs were filling with blood. I couldn't stand to be there anymore and booked it back to the cabin. The forest seemed like it was laughing at me, in my desperation to run home. I knocked my flashlight running and it was slowly getting dimmer and dimmer. I eventually had to ditch it and use some of the flares Cole and James bought. I pulled the top off and struck it against a tree and the red flame lit up the surrounding forest. There were so many of them. 10, 20, probably more. But as luck would have it, they never attacked me. I could see the cabin and flung the door open and shut it behind me. I ran for the upstairs bedroom and quickly got into the old wooden closet, where I am typing this. I don't hear them, but they're outside my house. Unfortunately, I did end up getting clawed, or maybe bitten. It's not a terrible wound, but it's bleeding black. If you can send help, please do. I really need it this time. I had always heard stories about the Skinwalkers, but I never thought they were real until that fateful night. I was camping with my friends in the wilderness, and we were having a great time roasting marshmallows and sharing scary stories around the campfire. But then, something changed. I heard a faint rustling in the bushes, and I thought it was just a harmless animal. But then, I heard it again, and this time it was louder. My heart began to race as I realized that something was watching us. Suddenly, a chilling howl pierced the silence of the night, and I knew that it was a Skinwalker. I had heard stories about these shape-shifting creatures that could transform into any animal they wanted, and they were known for their malevolent intent. My friends were terrified, and we huddled together for safety. We could hear the sound of the Skinwalker's footsteps as it circled our campsite, and the air was thick with fear. As the night wore on, the Skinwalker continued to torment us, its presence becoming more and more threatening. We could hear it whispering our names, calling out to us in a twisted voice that made my blood run cold. I knew that we had to leave, but the Skinwalker was blocking our way. We were trapped, and I felt a sense of helplessness wash over me. I had never been so scared in my life. Finally, as the sun began to rise, the Skinwalker vanished into the woods, and we were able to escape. But the memory of that night stayed with me, a haunting reminder of the power of the Skinwalkers and the danger that lurks in the wilderness.